Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm back. Alright, yeah, it was definitely... Okay, let's go with this. Hopefully I'm... It's an idea I just happened to stumble upon, but I think it just might be the answer. And it would turn this whole trial upside down. Hello, defense? Are you still with us? Let's hear the easy explanation you promise. Isn't it possible that it was because the victim himself was the thief? The victim? The thief? So the victim role is the thief? What kind of bull are you spewing now? Or is he the thief? If the victim was the thief, everything we learned so far would make sense. And it would give us a completely new way to interpret the victim's actions. After the morning dance of devotion, Mr. Roll went to the treasure room. He grabbed the box that contained the treasure and started to take off with it. But then he ran to Albie on the Great Stairs. That's why Mr. Roll pulled his gun on Albie. Then, when the blackout occurred, Mr. Roll was plunged to death in the darkness. This explains why the victim would be holding the glowing treasure box in the dark. And how could it have been possible for someone other than the accused to kill him? To grab it from behind? Do you have any idea what you're saying? You're unbelievable, lawyer man. I think you've lost it. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. Roll trying to roll the temple? That devoured believer, that Pias Kurainis. I won't allow you to disparage the victim's departed soul with unfounded allegations. I hope you're prepared to back up your claim. Of course, your majesty.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
Uh-oh, proof, huh? Do I have any proof? Well, I can't back down now. Yes, I have proof. In my dreams. The proof that Mr. Roll was the thief may have been left behind on a certain piece of evidence. May have been a thief? Very well. Let's see your evidence and be ready to stand behind it.
Footprints? Fingerprints? I'll take anything at this point.
I need proof, something that would have been involved with the theft, and that might still have a trace evidence left on it. What proof do you have the victim might have been the thief? Time of death, crime photo. I would say the notice because all the security would be tight, right? Let's double check. Option 3. Wait, where is it? Wait, where are we? I can. Box holding the national treasure. Option 3, because he was a thief. Box. Present box holding the national treasure. Hold the national treasure.
Take that!
The defense would likely examine the treasure box. There might be a trace evidence on it that would show the victim had held it. Might? You better hope you turn up something more definitive than that, defense. Yes, sir, your majesty. Very well. Bailiff, bring the treasure box. Bro, we're at 1 point. This is no safe states at all. We got nothing else to lose. If I had 4 other tries, I will give it a wing it, but still, we're down to 1 life. There you are, defense. You're free to examine it. If I don't find something, my entire argument up to this point will be blown. Plus, there's that little matter of the old tongue shears. I have to find something. I just have to. Now, to make sure I remember how to do this, I can rotate the evidence by sliding the touchscreen. Oh, I need to get my freaking stylus. Where the heck is it? By touching this sliding. Whoa! EDS capture protected. I can zoom in and out. Oh shoot! The slider on the left to get better look. And if I get to turn around, I can always touch reset to return the settings to initial state. I better search every inch of the box carefully and touch anything interesting to check out the detail. Hold up. So the thing I have to do is point the lock. What the heck? Huh. So all I do is just examine, right? Those are the blood stains. Bruh. What the heck is this, mechanic? What am I doing? Can we please click this? This does not want to work. Thank you. What the heck are we doing? Move camera. Bruh. That's the lock, right? This is the lock. It was forced open. I don't see really anything else about it. This is the lock. It was forced open. I don't really see anything else known about it. Bruh. What's with this? The lid of the box was forced open, but while the victim was holding the box, the lid must have been closed. I'll try closing the lid too. Can we please click this? Hey, thank you. Hey! What? You son of a... You locked it! So? What's the big deal? I thought you can open it with the key you're wearing. Yeah, I can. No sweat. Then why is there a bucket load dripping off of you over there? I think I'd like to open this box back up again. Could you lend me your Magatama key? Sure. Okay, let's see. Where's the keyhole? Well, it's the Magatama key. So wouldn't it go in the hole above the Magatama mark? Okay, there's the key. Let's try it. Huh? It won't open. Would you look at that? The thief must have busted the lock when they forced the box open. Really? Cause I'm not so sure about that. Treasure box updated. In the courtroom. But hey, we got a glimpse of good. In any case, I better take another good look. I have to find proof the victim was holding this box. Okay, what's another thing? Okay. Crimes. Present crime scene picture. Point bloody hand. Examine. Oh, I see. This bloodstain. It shows the outline of a hand. Could this be what I've been looking for? Your Majesty, take a look at this. There's a bloodstain here that outlines the shape of a hand. Really? Let me see that. Oh my, you're right. Now I'm getting somewhere. I believe the bloodstain is in an outline of the victim's hand as he was holding the box. What? Where did the blood came from? Even as he was being struck, he held on tight to the precious treasure box. After all, he got through a lot of trouble to steal it. The blood from his head wound splattered across his hand onto the box.
Your Majesty, don't let yourself be taken in. It's just more of his loyalty deceit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Wright, where is your proof that the outline is that of the victim's hand?
What? I should seen this coming.
Either show proof or prepare to meet the shears. Or could you save us all the time and bite your tongue out and now and submit it instead?
That I did not see coming. Well, defense, how about it? Do you have proof the outline blah blah? Where would the proof something like that be? Okay, let's show the evidence. Oh, the battery! Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. There you go. We're charging it. We're charging it. So we have to show crime scene picture. Okay. Okay, let's show it.
Take that!
You better be right. I've got it. This is the evidence that's going to be saving my beloved tongue. Mr. Payne, despite your claims about my forked tongue, it just so happens I have the proof you require.
You do?
It's right here in this crime photo. It is? Where? Defense, please point it out. The proof that blood stain on the box, blah blah. Point the bloody hand. This one?
Take that!
Mr. Payne, take a good look at the victim's hand. See this? That's blood.
What?
If we place Mr. Roll's hand inside the bloody outline,
You think the blood on his hand would complete the splatter?
exactly. Here goes nothing. And if they do form one complete splatter, it would prove my theory correct. Then, the victim really was holding the box. I'm willing to bet my life on it. Defense reasserts that the victim was the thief who stole the treasure box.
You can't be serious! I protest. There's no way they would never ever match up. I assert that it's patiently impossible for... Ow!
Talk about tongue karma. Sound like he just bit his. What's the matter, Mr. Payne? Did your forked tongue get tangled up in there? Or were you trying to submit your own tongue to the court?
Why you?
I can't hardly believe it. Apparently not everything out of the defense mouth is a bluff. Of course not, your majesty. This tongue doesn't lie. And I like to continue to use my tongue in the future too, if you wouldn't mind. He never has to know it really was a bluff.
No, not Mr. Roll. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, Albie. I know it's upsetting news. He must have needed the money badly, probably to support his family. After all, he gave up his dream of becoming a monk to help them.
Oh, so that thing Mr. Roll would say to me...
about train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me. Yeah, he was probably warning you not to end up a thief.
Mr. Roll.
Objection!
Now, wait just 1 minute. If the victim was the thief and he was holding the treasure box, then that means Mr. Roll was holding the murder weapon when he was killed.
That's a very good point. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Objection!
If the victim was holding the treasure box, it couldn't have been the murder weapon. Is it that freaking guitar?
Or something else?
The blood was thought to have gotten on the box when the box was used as a weapon. But it turns out that wasn't the case. The blood splattered onto the trash box the victim was holding when it was struck with the weapon. That's what really happened. Isn't that right, Mr. Understand? Are you insinuating I'm the one who used this real weapon? Are you saying I'm wrong in my understand? I don't get that. You got me right out, lawyer man. I feel a song coming on. Looking for a weapon that just don't exist. Pathetic lawyer man, drop into the abyss. Despicable lawyer man, yo, you make me sick. You can disappear just like a magic trick. Worthless lawyer man, done in by a weapon. For you miserable wretch, hell don't be beckon. Yeah. I know I don't need to remind you, defense, that your life is on the line. I know, your majesty. You're prepared to risk it on this mere idea of a real murder weapon. Death to the lawyer! This is it. The moment of truth. I can't back down now. Yes, your majesty, I am. I've covered the real murder weapon does exist.
That's a bold claim, Mr. Wright. Now let's see you back it up. Show us which piece of evidence points to the real murder weapon.
Gladly. If I knew which one it was, what would somebody like Anderson use to blunder someone? Now then, defense, please submit your evidence to the court. Yeah, let's see it, lawyer man. Let's see this thing that shows the real murder weapon you say I used. Okay. Okay, we gotta do this.
Take that!
What I'm about to present is really nothing more than a possibility. But this thin thread is all I've got. Allow me to direct the court's attention to this photo of the morning dance of devotion. That photo? How's that going to help you, Mr. Wright? There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. Oh yeah? And what's this? Something, There's this thing. Oh! What the heck?
Take that!
Mr. Understand, why is the instrument you're holding different from the one you're playing in the photo? Would you look at that? They're completely different shapes. I believe you said your dollar was your one and only, cheater. Well, Mr. Understand, what do you have to say to that? I got nothing to say. Then allow me to answer for you. They're different because the one in the photo is no longer in playable condition. Damn, son! Not after you used it to bludgeon Mr. Raw to death. Ha 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 ha! My old partner wasn't doing so hot, so I brought her sister along, that's all. Not a big deal, lawyer man. In that case, please submit your old element to this court as evidence. Too bad, you're too late. I got rid of her yesterday. You what? Burn her up with the rest of the trash. Ashes to ashes, baby, haha. No! He's already destroyed the evidence. And I see more trash right here in this court that needs to be burned in fires of hell. Lawyer trash. Ha 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 ha.
Now there's no proof to show.
Oh, come on, that was pathetic. You agony can sound better than that. Where's that great scream of yours?
Hey, did he show where he can do a guitar with his mouth? This can't how it ends.
I think I've heard enough. It seems the defense is armed to produce the evidence it needs to prove its assertion.
But your Magistrate, that's only because the witness destroyed it. Evidence is everything in court. Don't tell me you've forgotten this most fundamental principle of our profession.
Without sufficient proof, your claim that Mr. Anderson is the murderer is no more than a conjecture.
Ah. There's the pain expression I've been looking for. By the way, there seems to be one more thing you've forgotten.
What is it now?
You accuse Mr. Anderson of being the thief, but the real thief turned out to be the victim.
Uh-oh.
And with that, Mr. Anderson's purported motive for murder goes out the window. Ah!
Great point, prosecutor. You tell him. If I had been there, I would have just cleared Roll and gotten the treasure back. There wasn't any reason for me to kill him now. Was there? There's no good counter-argument to that. Until Mr. Anderson has been completely wrongfully accused. Unfortunate as it may be, I think it's time to hand down the verdict in this case. Not good, not good. Defense, I trust you understand what yourself will receive for taking on the case. What do I do? The murder weapon's been destroyed, and now I've got no motive. Poor Albie will be convicted, and I'll lose my life too.
Mr. Wright, you wasted this court's time. In this peerage, everything we hold sacred. We should charge you with less majesty in addition to the crime of abetting the accused.
Yeah, you should pay for discrediting my good name. Bye-bye, lawyer man. Time for you to do some repenting in the Twilight Realm. This guy is guilty as sin. I just know it. He must have some reason to kill Mr. Roll, but what? 6 months. Come on, people, let me hear you scream and shout. Ah, my back. Time to take this lawyer trash out. The thing to do at the time like this is turn my thinking around. I shouldn't be trying to figure out what Anderson's motive was. I should be thinking about what kind of situation would give him a motive. Did you steal it? He said. We know that Mr. Roll was the thief and that he got his hands on the box. So then why? Why in the world did he ask Albie that question? What about the treasure would have prompted him too? Ah! My friends, what's going into you? Now I get it. Now it all makes sense. I do not. Like, man, what you trying to say? Muttering and squealing to yourself sounds like you knocked something loose upstairs. Your Majesty, please hold off your ruling for just a little while longer. Don't tell me you're going to start begging for your life now. No, Your Majesty, that's not it. It's just that I realized something important. We've been operating under a serious misconception this whole time. A misconception, you say? That's right. A mistaken notion about the treasure box. But could this really be true? If so, there's still a lot to figure out. I don't get it. Very well, let's hear what you have to say. Thank you, Majesty. Did he stole the treasure first, put it back, hid it, and then whatever? This is your last chance, defense. The I find it is really nothing but nonsense. No amount of begging will stay my hand. Understand?
Yes, your majesty. Huh. We all know this is just going to be another one of your stupid bluffs.
Now then, defense, what is this month's concession you mentioned?
The thing we didn't realize about the treasure box was that it was empty.
What if the treasure box was already empty from the start?
What?
What?
Please recall that when Mr. Wall ran into Albie on the Great Stairs, he asked the boy a question.
Did you steal it? He said.
Also, recall that Mr. Wall was holding the treasure box at the time. So why then did he ask Albie the question that he did?
That is a bit peculiar, isn't it?
Not at all, your majesty. Not once you realize that, by the time Mr. Roll got to the treasure room, the treasure box was already empty.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Roll suspected that Albie had gotten into it first, which is why he confronted Albie when he ran into the boy on the stairs.
Objection!
But how would the victim know the treasure box was empty? He didn't have any way of opening it.
Objection!
Once a year, the victim had the duty of carrying the treasure box to the palace. He was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite. He would have been able to tell by the weight when he lifted it, but the box was empty.
Oh, I see. Yes, I suppose he would have been able to tell, wouldn't he?
Mr. Roll most likely decided to at least steal the empty box. It's an important historical artifact in and of itself, after all. But what's your point, Mr. Wright? What does any of this have to do with Mr. Endestan? My point is this. It gave Mr. Endestan a motive to murder the victim. A motive? Mr. Endestan, keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, isn't it? So if anyone had found out that the treasure was missing, you would have been accused of incompetence. From the moment Mr. Roll discovered that the treasure was gone, his fate was sealed. Because he decided then that he had to be silenced forever. But that's absurd! But wait, if he killed him because of incompetence, then who's the one who stole it?
Can't you believe that stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth? I'm thirsty right now. This is all just a colossal joke. So then, what really happened to the treasure?
It hadn't been so long before this incident occurred. By Mr. Endestan himself. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to accuse Mr. Endestan? Your Majesty, please don't listen to these trump-up charges. The fence is grasping.
Objection!
The treasure box can only be opened with a key Mr. Endestan holds. Who else could have stolen the treasure?
Objection!
As I said, the accused stole the treasure by forcing open the box. Your Majesty, I call for a swift ruling.
I'm not ready to give my verdict yet.
What?
The defense has successfully presented a new possibility in this case.
Yes, finally a tiny shred of hope.
Mr. Endestan, would you care to make any statements in response to the defense claims?
Can you do it with your mouth? I want to see that.
This is all bull! My noggins are rage cage and ready to explode, baby! Instructor Endestan, please calm yourself. I'm not gonna take it. No, I ain't gonna take it. I dutifully watch over the treasure with pride. And now I'm getting accused of stealing it? This lawyer is lying scumbag!
Uh-oh.
You better believe I got something to say. Open your ear holes, sheeple. Let's rock. Death to the lying lawyer!
We got metal.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm getting some water. I'm getting water for this. Be right back.